The last thing I want to show is the execute shape data. Now this can be leveraged in many different ways, such as an automation script, which again can be leveraged in many ways. So this is really extensive shape data because you can use it in many different occasions. So obviously the first one, automation script, will allow you to execute, which will always be the shape data in this case, execute a automation script. And it again takes a lot of possible options. We have the multiple set, which will allow us to do parameter sets on multiple elements of a certain protocol. We have a single parameter set, and we have WFM, which I won't cover now. But you can check the DataMiner help for this as well. So let's start off with our automation scripts, go back to our Visio and make another page for our execute shape data. Drag this here. So I have a button for my automation script execution. I need to execute shape data. And then for an automation script, we need to start with script, then colon, and then our script name. In my case, generate IRD alarms is something I want to show you. The script needs some arguments. So if we go back to the PDF, you can see it needs a dummy, one or multiple dummies. So this means that you want to fill in a certain element. So I know my dummy's name is IRD1, and then I can choose which element to use for that dummy element IRD1, which has to be of the type Philips device, so it has to be one of my IRDs. So I can enter IRD01 here, and then a semicolon for my second dummy, which is IRD2, and then enter IRD02 as the actual value for this dummy. Then there are some more options. You can add parameters, but we don't have any in our script, so we don't use them. Memory file is the same thing. And we can choose to show a tooltip, which I also won't do. So I can start adding these arguments. So no parameters, no memory file, of course, no tooltip. And then lastly, I do want some options, being that I want to execute the script in the background, so it has to be asynchronous. And also I want no confirmation. This is also a possible option, which allows us to not get a new pop-up when you click the shape to confirm that we want to execute the script. So I just want to click it and I want it to immediately execute. So if I now save this, go to my Visio, I have a file here, or a shape here. If I hover over it, it says execute automation script, generate IRD alarms. And you can watch these two elements, as well as, for instance, the information events. When I do this, I click, it starts saying I'm setting certain parameters. It's also starting the script. You can see here, this is going green. My IRD is, by the way, also clearing my output gain. And then it goes back to 6 dBm as well. So this is a script that does a couple of parameter sets on the dummy elements or the elements that you have passed in your shape data. Now let's say I don't want to use automation scripts, but I still want to do a parameter set on a single IRD. For that, we use the parameter set. So we can use the execute shape data once again. We will define our element, our parameter ID, possibly an index if we want to, if it's a table parameter, and then of course the value that we want to set it to. So let's go back to our Visio file. I will copy this because I need to execute shape data again, but I need it to be a set on element IRD 01, so separated by pipes. Then I need the right parameter, so that's very important. So I will enter 216 here, which if you remember from the parameter control shape, this is the right ID for the output gain parameter. And then I need to define a value and I want to set my output gain to 15. Save. Again, we get a useful tooltip saying what will happen. And if I now open this up, I will change the top layout first to show you this. So my IRD1, I have my audio output on 6 right now. If I click this, it asks for confirmation because this is a parameter set. Click yes, and we can see it has changed to 15. So that's for a single parameter. But what if we want to set our parameter for each IRD in our view? Well, then we can use a multiple set. So instead of a parameter set, we will have a multiple set. And instead of set here, we will have multiple set. Then we will define some other parameters, namely, instead of elements, we will define a view possibly, as well as required, a protocol and a version. So let's do this. We copy over the shape. Instead, we use multiple set. We don't really, or maybe we do. Let's specify our, shouldn't be space here. We want only the IRDs in this view. So we use this card object ID, which will then be replaced by the ID of the view that this Visio is on. Then we define our Philips protocol. The version that we want to apply it to. So here we can use production, which is the version that is set as production version on our system. And then we need the same two arguments from the shape above that, namely the parameter and the value that we want to set it to. So let's go to 216 and set it to 12. So let's save this. We get a new shape here, setting the output gain to 12. Doesn't say for which element, because that will be calculated on the fly. Click it, and then we automatically get a pop-up for our multiple set. The value is automatically set to 12. The protocol and the protocol version are also set, and then it has automatically selected all of the Philips devices in this view, and we can do a set, and we can see they get applied everywhere. So that's a multiple set, and at the same time, that's the end of this module. So a lot of shapes, a lot of different types that you can use for your solution. Refer to this PDF here to see what shapes you can use. There's a bit more info already in there that we haven't covered, but we will cover them in either intermediate or actually even advanced modules as well. But these should contain most, if not all, of the shapes that you will ever use in Visio for Cube. So try all of them out a bit, especially the ones that we saw in this training. Also, don't forget to always look up things in the help if you're wondering how to do something. And then once you find you're ready for it, click the link below for the certification. Make sure you have already watched the first module of this basic training. And good luck to try and get certified.